Hello crafters! Thanks for stopping by today. I hope to make it worth your time. I have a very bright and cheerful card for which I'm using only these dies by W+9. It's the Sunshine Layers die set and you get a whole bunch of dies. It's a little bit more expensive, but you get 2 frames, you get these the rainbows, the raindrops, clouds, a sentiment even. And I printed my own sentiment on this piece of, I think it's Nina Solar White cardstock. I found it on Pinterest and I just think it's a perfect sentiment to cheer somebody up. I'm starting out with the smaller frame die from the set, and I'm just using some post-it notes to attach it to my paper here, and then I'm gonna run it through my Big Shot. Now, for some reason, I thought that I would do partial die cutting, so the rainbow would be part of this front panel, but my brain then stopped working, and I started to cut down the panel, but I still wanted the round edges, that's why I put it back into this into the die. And then I couldn't make the partial die cutting anymore. It was kind of weird. Never mind. But I did die cut all the raindrops out of the this front panel here, and then I grabbed a piece of watercolor cardstock and my Inktense pencils, and they deserve their name. They're very intense colors and you can layer them without any problem. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just grabbing a bunch of rainbow colors and scribbling it down on the watercolor cardstock without any rhyme or reason. So I'm not trying to be precise or anything. And then I'm activating them with water, and you can see immediately that the colors are super intense, but I knew that I would need more than one layer. So my goal right here is simply to activate the colors, to get some sort of blending going where the colors meet, and to get the first layer down, because the more layers you have, the more intense the colors are. And once these colors dry, they become permanent. So you can go back on top with another layer and they will not reactivate. They might reactivate a tiny little bit, but not too bad. And the funniest part is when you dry this with your heat gun, that's why I'm showing it to you, the warped paper flattens out, and I just love the effect how it flattens out. So now I'm basically grabbing once more my colors, and sometimes I'm even choosing darker colors than I did before, especially here on the orange, because I wanted the colors to pop really, really a lot. And you can see now that I'm going in with the second layer here and activating the colors, the colors are so much more intense now on the second layer. I sometimes feel when you heat dry them that the colors fade out a little bit, or maybe it's just the regular drying process where they fade out a little bit. But just applying another layer of color helps solve the problem. And again, I'm drying this here and you can see how the warped paper flattens out under my heat gun. It's just the most fascinating process ever to me. It's almost as nice as heat embossing. It's just so much fun. Then I decided I wanted the colors to sparkle, so I'm grabbing my Perfect Pearls powder and just putting some of it on an empty CD case here. And I was like, I have so much of the stuff, let's just do an entire scoop, let's not save up on the powder. And then I'm just using a white brush to add a whole bunch of water to dissolve the powder in the water. And then I'm just going to use this white brush to brush it onto my card. And then I was like, this is my work surface. Should not mess up my work surface. So I'm grabbing my my paper here, my paper towel here. And as you can see, I'm not being artisty or something. I'm just painting this over, just as you would paint a wall, basically. Because I just want to have a really thin coat of the Perfect Pearls. And you can see they dim the colors a little bit, but they also make them shine. And that trade-off was worth it to me. Then off camera, I die cut a whole bunch of rainbows from the die, and you can see that the die doesn't really cut everything apart. It's still kind of stuck together, and I'm going to snip this apart and create my own rainbow. I have this scrap rainbow here, like just from a piece of scrap white paper, and I'm using a little bit of Tombow Mona multi-glue to adhere the parts of the rainbow onto this template. And it's not a lot of work really, you just snip the rainbows apart and you can save up whatever else you have. I'm using my ATG gun to add a lot of glue to the backside of my front panel, and I used a strip of double-sided adhesive at the very top to hold the rainbow in place there. I hope you can see that maybe. And then once I've put this together, you can see how the colors really pop through the white front panel. And since the rest of the card is white, it's really impressive in person. Of course, I had to bring out my pretty pink posh sparkling clear sequins. This is the 4mm size, the small ones. And here you can see, hopefully you can see, how the colors sparkle through the openings of the raindrops. And of course the rainbow on top really is a pop of color in and of itself. And the sparkling clear sequins just round up the card and, tie the stars in. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please leave me a thumbs up so YouTube knows you want to see more of me. Subscribe to my channel, I would love that, or visit me on my blog. Thank you, bye!